Hey everyone, Matt Anderson here. So I've gotten quite a few questions recently from individuals that are just stuck, just saying, hey, where do I start? So just to make sure we're staying on topic here, what we're speaking about today is how do I purchase or acquire a business, whether it's through a strategic partnership and or just a flat out acquisition, right? So people say, hey, where do I start? So that's what we're going to go over today. So let's just start with the basics, right? You got to know what vertical you want to be in or which industry do you want to tackle. So a lot of people say, well, I'm industry agnostic. That's cool, but you're casting such a wide net and you bring in such a large amount of individuals that it could be overwhelming. So it's like in this world where you're contacting individuals that want to speak to you, that want to sell, that potentially want to move forward with making a deal with you, less is more, okay? Obviously, it'd be great to have it on a large scale, but it just, without a team, and we're just talking about you individually, it's not feasible to be able to juggle all these individuals, right? And give them the proper attention without them falling off, right? And missing that opportunity. So less is more, okay? So let's talk about the vertical. Whether it's doctors' offices, chiropractors, physical therapy, construction, specifically excavating, their pools. It just depends, okay? So in this case, what we're going to use right here is, let's just say manufacturing in general, okay? So we'll go manufacturing, okay? And some people say, well, why manufacturing? Well, depending on the loan or type of lender that you want to work with, sometimes depending on, there's a lot of asset-based lenders out there. And they like companies that are heavier in assets, so service-oriented, construction, manufacturing, where not only land and real estate, but machinery, whatever, tractors or machines of sorts or whatever there may be, that can be leveraged to use to get a loan to then get into the business. And we'll talk about that on a latter segment. So vertical is manufacturing, okay? Manufacturing as a whole, obviously there's a lot of different things that you can do, but as a whole, if you have experience in the industry, you can kind of go a lot of different routes there. So we'll go manufacturing, and then people say, hey, well, how do I find the manufacturer or my perfect client? And you know what? Let's just go over this together, okay? So let's go, let's write this out. So we'll go perfect client, okay? And you should probably actually write this out before so you know who it is that you're searching for, right? So your perfect client, let's say that they're doing 3 to 5 million annual recurring revenue, okay? And let's say that you want 7+ employees, and the reason behind that, and we'll talk about this more in another segment, is 7+ employees usually shows within the metrics that there's some type of system in play, so you're not taking over a business that is another job for you. That's going to be another job. And so you want to run into a business that already has standard operating procedures, SOPs in play, and they already have people that are running those, and they aren't going to sink or soar depending on the business owner being present or not, or the owner of the business. So the owner could be absentee, he could be there helping running things, but he has a right-hand man that he might be grooming to kind of take over the business so he can then take a step back and or retire, right? So there's just a lot of different options there. And you'll have a lot more options when you approach these business owners if they have 7+ employees. Is it possible with less? Yes, very possible. It's just that's kind of the average of what we've seen. So 7+ employees, and let's say, how do you want to be able to contact them? Do you want an SDE, so seller discretionary earnings, or what is known as EBITDA, of a certain amount? Let's say that you want at least 750K, right? Or more. Okay? And you can go making this list as specific as possible, okay? But just so you know, the more specific this list becomes, you have a funnel here. You know, the more specific this list becomes, the less you'll have that will come through this funnel. But when you have a business owner that's coming through the funnel that is ready and has this criteria, it makes the rest of the process so much more easier, okay? So going to manufacturing, where do the owners hang out? How do we find those owners? Well, you know, you can look at LinkedIn, okay? So you can look at LinkedIn. There's a lot of groups within LinkedIn, manufacturing groups. So there's manufacturers in the USA, manufacturers in the Midwest, Central on the East Coast. It could be specific type of manufacturing, whether it's more food oriented or if it's non-perishable goods, so not food, right? Find those groups, join those groups on LinkedIn, okay? Make a presence, but what's going to turn people off right away is if you start selling to people or you start, hey, this is me. What you want to go in there is you want to give. So how can you give to someone in turn by helping yourself, right? Which is selfish, but at the same time, we do want to help other individuals. And so keep the mentality of, if someone does want to sell or they've been thinking about it, let's go down that road with them because that could help them out. Okay, that can help that business owner out. So what you can do when you enter into these groups is you can say, you're an investor, right? Say, hi, my name is Matt Anderson. I'm an investor. I invest in manufacturing businesses. I'm joining the group here to provide as much value as possible. I am actually looking for a business to purchase. If you know of anyone, feel free to let me know, right? There's a lot of different ways that you can pitch this, okay? But offer your services of how you might be able to best help out and get to know individuals too. Comment on other individuals and react to their comments, engage in conversation with them, okay? So after you've built this up, so you have LinkedIn, it is a major source there. You can always go to what is called Zoom Info, and the free version, you have a limited amount, but it's still good. You have Dun & Bradstreet. There's a lot of different places you can go, and these areas will give you more lists of individuals, but they'll help you hone in on the specifics of the businesses also. Where LinkedIn, a paid version would be Sales Navigator. A lot of people have had success there. Honestly, my success hasn't come so much from Sales Navigator, but that just might be my lack of interest of going that direction, right? A lot of my success has come from lists. And so, but everyone's different. There's a lot of different ways to do it. There's not one set way. Now, over here you have your best approach to connect. So like I said before, you can introduce yourself. Always introduce yourself as an investor, okay? Because that's what you are, is you want to invest. Now, most people say, well, how much money do you have to invest? Or how much money do you have now? Or something along those lines. I want a proof of funds or whatever that may look like. And it's like, well, I don't have a proof of funds, in my back pocket to give you, right? And so with that being said, what you can tell people is most investors, me investing, I'm not going to invest my own money. I leverage other people's money, OPM, other people's money. And that's something you're going to hear a lot in the industry, right? And so when I'm doing this, is I'm leveraging the other investors that work with me in my pool, is I leverage them because they want to work passively, right? They want to do what they do, but they have money and they want it to work for them. So I was like, hey, I'll put zero money in. We're going to use your money. I'll do the legwork and my team, and we'll help give you a return, right? So best approach to connect is let people know that you're an investor, okay? Like we said over here where people hang out, okay? Let people know that you're an investor and let them know that you're here to help. Tailor it to them. Say, I'm an investor and I'm actually in the market to buy a manufacturing business. If you know of anyone that would like to sell or be interested, please let me know. So you're not, and actually what I would do before that is I go to the owners of the group, the admin, or because some groups you get right in right away, and some of the more elite groups you will be vetted per se. They'll send you a questionnaire, say, hey, these are the rules. Make sure you're not going to sell anything along those lines, right? And so I let the admin know straight up, hey, I'm an investor. I'm looking to acquire a business. And you can lean off my experience if you want to tell them, or there's other people I know where this has worked, but you can say, hey, the goal here is to find a business to buy. I'm not here to sell anything, and offer to pay them a finder's fee, or you know what, don't even offer to pay a finder's fee if you don't get to that point. But a lot of times the admin likes to have that credibility of saying, hey, if someone was able to find value through my group of maybe selling a business or whatnot, they get to use that as credibility for their group as a whole for future individuals, right? And so I've never had pushback from an admin, okay? So if you want help with proper verbiage or things along those lines, subscribe below, send me a message, contact me on other social media or whatnot, and we can connect and kind of collaborate on how to best do that. Execution. So execution is key. How do you execute? So let's say you're on your LinkedIn group. Let's say you have a list or two that you're working with. How do you execute? How do you move forward? Because all this process is great, but if you don't finally reach out, talk to these people, tell them what you want or what you're here to do, what your purpose is, you're not going to accomplish that purpose, okay? And so execution here, some things that I've seen that have really helped me out have been, like I told you, I use lists a lot. So if I get lists of manufacturers that are within this criteria, what I will do is I will take simply, some information and I will download that or export it to Excel, okay? And then you have your list here. There's plenty of companies out there that can help you out, whether it's like Lemlist, there's Snowvio.io. And by the way, I don't have any affiliate links on any of these, so I'll write them here so you can go find them. If you have questions, again, reach out and I'll let you know. There's Mail, Meteor. People use MailChimp, I don't know if MailChimp is necessary, but all of these are great, and a lot of them have free versions that you can use to kind of test them out. And a lot of these will merge with your HubSpot or your Monday.com, right? And so here's the execution. Send out the list to these people. Make right here a template. And that template, let's not overcomplicate things. It can be super simple. It could be, hello, George, and business owner. My name is Matt. I'm an investor, and I am reaching out because I am interested and I'm reaching out because I'd like to see if you have interest in an acquisition and or a strategic partnership. If you feel this would warrant further conversation, please let me know, right? And I'll leave my phone number and I'll say, hey, if I Here's my number to call me, or you can email me back here on my personal email. I use, whether that's right or wrong, I have a Gmail account that I use because I feel I get better response that way. When people that I'm contacting see Capital Partners or acquisitions or whatever as the Gmail domain or whatever the domain is, I feel like I don't have good open rates, right? But if they see what looks like an email from an individual, then they'll answer that. And so you email out to those individuals, and then as you get responses back on this Excel list, right, you search the individual. So you search whoever the response was from. If the response was yay, nay, or even if it was an undeliverable, right, or a wrong email, you search it here in the Excel sheet, and then you delete it. Okay, so we will scrub this list. You'll delete it. So let's say it's deleted, and then we got some responses and we deleted them, and then you do it a second time. You send out a second template. And really it could be the same thing, but maybe you change the beginning and says, hey, this is my second attempt, and in the header you put second attempt, okay? And then you do it for a third and a fourth. But every response you get, no matter what it is, you scrub that list and you hit that list 3 or 4 times. And I have been getting anywhere from 5 to 7 responses saying, yes, I would like to get on the phone, okay? So I stress that you go do this, and you get things going. And really the best way to get everything going is just to do it. Talk to the business owner. There's no, you just need to be able to talk to them. If you can talk to another human being and feel that you can carry on a conversation, you'll be successful, okay? Because genuinely, this seller, you just need to understand what they want. What would you do if you were to sell your business? Or if you were able to find a good middle ground with me right now in selling your business, making some type of deal, what would you go do with that money? And you get them talking, and then you shut up. Listen to them. Don't listen with the intent of, hey, I'm thinking of what I'm going to say. Just listen to what they need and what they want and what they desire. Because you may be able to take that and implement it later into how you structure your deal, right? So here's kind of a process here. It's a little messy. I'll move here. If you want to take a screenshot, you can do that. But at the same time, just remember, hone in on your vertical, the industry. Where do those owners hang out? This is pretty general, LinkedIn, but you got to make it specific, right? And get down to that funnel and make it more specific there. So where do they hang out? Well, how's the best approach to connect? How do you connect with them? And then the execution. Okay, so my team and I do this for individuals. They will hire us out, pay us a retainer, and then afterwards give us an equity or finder's fee stake in the company, right? Depending on a successful close. So we're here to help out if needed. And honestly, I try to answer all my emails. Just ask some questions, okay? Comment below, subscribe, share the video. If there's someone you know that is interested in doing something like this, it's the more the merrier. We want to spread this knowledge around and help as many people out as possible. If you have any questions, again, or you can connect with me on LinkedIn, we're here to help out. We can get you introduced to the team. And even if you're planning on selling yourself or have interest in doing that, and how do I best prepare my company to have the best multiple for the sale, we do advising, and we definitely help out with that. And then we know individuals that we can send your way and get you connected with. So if you have any questions here, feel free to reach out. But until then, we'll see you next time.